Hello, my friends. So I haven't done a wrap up in a while, and I have read quite a few books since then. But so it's not super long, I'll just make it 4 books per video. So I'll have a few coming out maybe consecutively, we'll see. But today I just chose to talk about the 4 books I've read immediately after my last review session. And yeah, I think the next video is going to be a reading vlog. I'll talk more about that once I go through the books. I'm going to talk about 4 books today, and you probably saw them in the thumbnail, but the first one I'm going to talk about is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I read almost a month ago, over a month ago now. I gave this one a 3-star because it was very underwhelming, maybe, kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it was almost a slog to get through. If you don't know, this is a prequel to the Hunger Games, but everyone's been talking about it, so you probably know about it. I felt like it was a slog to get through because the first 3/4 of this book happens in a really small time period where nothing is really happening. So it was, I don't know, I didn't like it. I didn't like that it followed President Snow when he was younger. And I feel like it even tried to make you feel sympathetic for him because he's starving and he's living in this big fancy house, but they have no food. They're trying to maintain the appearance of affluence. And I was just like, you're not going to make me feel sorry for President Snow. I'm sorry, you're not. And I didn't, because he went on to do some terrible things in the book, but I don't want to spoil anything. But there were some aspects that I did like of this book, and I really liked catching a glimpse of the first Hunger Games and some origins of some of the rules in the Hunger Games and where some of the songs that you see in the Hunger Games came from. So I really liked those nods to the original trilogy, which I actually have right there. So, I knew I was going to for sure read it. I didn't know if I was going to like it. It's pretty long with not much, the first half was just blah, blah. Yeah, but I'm glad I read it. I know a lot of people gave it 3 stars or even under, so I understand why. Keep your expectations low if you're going to read this, is all I'm going to say. Yeah. So, that's my feels for this book. Now, the next one that I read, actually as an audiobook, is Moon of the Crusted Snow. I gave this one, I think, 4 or 4.5, and the narrator was super niche. His accent was super thick. It felt like almost a grandpa reading to me. Once you get used to the accent, then you're like, okay. So if you haven't heard of this follows an Anishinaabe community in northern Ontario. The power cuts out, and the food truck that delivers the food for the community doesn't arrive. And so the power cuts out, there's no cell phone service, there's no anything, and they're trying to figure out what's happening. And then luckily 2 of their youth who are at the university further to the south, they make it back home and they tell everyone what's going on, which is pretty much society collapsed for some unknown reason. We never get to find out what that reason is. So this community starts to deal with this issue by rationing their food. The band council takes control, but everyone's super fair and most people are cooperating, so it's a pretty good system. And the only reason that works is because most reserves and all the communities in Nunavut still run on generators. So we have fuel that we store enough for a year. So all that energy is run by the generators. So if hydro is cut off or energy that's being transported from the city, if that dies, we're unaffected. And this turns out to be positive for the situation because it's post-apocalyptic, and people in the South realize this, and some people start to make their way north because they know that those reserves they have a better chance of surviving this weird collapse of society. I really liked it. The atmosphere was set really well. Like, his writing was just so atmospheric. Like, it really made you feel the creepiness and just like impending doom, even though it was like characters who were perfectly normal, though, like somebody you would know on the res. So it was super creepy. Like, I was really creeped out, and I was listening to it, and I was like, okay, I need to stop for a bit because like I'm getting creeped out. It's hitting a little too close to home right now. So yeah, it was good. And I also really loved that there was the Nish language, Anishinaabe Nish language scattered throughout the book, and I wish more books had that. So it's definitely worth the read, I think. I really liked it. And the next book that I read is From the Ashes by Jessie Thistle, and I think that was also 4.5 stars. But I don't want to say too much about this one because I am going to be releasing a reading vlog for this book. This was one of the top 5 finalists for Canada Reads 2020. So one of my reading goals was to read these 5 books and do a reading vlog for each one before the end of the year. And they actually already did release the winner of this Canada Reads series, and the winner was, I think, We Have Always Been Here. I think. I don't remember. But I'm still going to keep reading them. So this book is a memoir about a Métis man who is struggling with homelessness and addiction. It is a very heavy book, so I took my time reading it. And it's also super eye-opening, and I learned a lot about homelessness, and it's very heartbreaking sometimes. But like I said, I don't want to say too much about it just because I am doing a reading vlog. But I think it's definitely worth a read, especially in Canada, because he's from Canada. So I really enjoyed that book. Super heavy. The last book I'm going to talk about is The Martian by Andy Weir, and I listened to this as an audiobook. Actually, me and my partner listened to it as an audiobook together while we were road tripping to go see my parents, and it's a really good road trip audiobook. And Will Wheaton actually narrates it, and I feel like he's the perfect guy to narrate this book just because it's so sarcastic but funny and witty, and it's really good. Like, if you want an audiobook, I highly recommend listening to The Martian as an audiobook just because it's told through kind of a journal entry format. Most of you have probably seen the movie, but there's a lot of stuff that's not in the movie that's in the book that's hilarious but also like gripping. And there is a lot of detail and like fleshing out of the finer aspects of like space travel, the dangers of it, Mars. I'm not gonna lie, a couple times I did glaze out while he was talking about like certain engineering aspects of like the drill or something, and I'm like, okay, I don't care about this part that much. But the other stuff, like the other details on his botany, was really interesting to me. And yeah, it gets technical sometimes, but he tells it in an interesting way. And I feel like this book has one of the coolest opening lines. So it catches your attention right away. I really liked it. I'm kind of scared to read Andy Weir's next book, which is Artemis. I liked The Martian so much, and I've heard mixed reviews on Artemis, so I'm just kind of I don't know if I want to like disappoint, you know? But if you've read it, please let me know if it's worth reading, because like I said, I really like The Martian, and I'm kind of scared to read Artemis. So those are the 4 books that I read immediately after my last review. I do have another review of another 4 books coming out soon, and the reading vlog actually for From the Ashes is coming out soon. I think in a few days, hopefully. Let me know if you've read any of these books. I feel like a lot of people have read Ballad of Songbirds, Snakes, and The Martian. and I don't know if there's a lot of Canadians who watch my channel who probably have heard From the Ashes and even Moon of the Crusted Snow. Yeah, and let me know if you've read any of the books by these authors. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video talking about other books. But make sure to subscribe and like this video to let me know I'm doing a good job. And I hope you guys have a good week. Bye.